Good afternoon, Dr. Stout and class. My name is Shauna Lipscomb, and the model I chose to speak about this week is the Iowa Model of Evidence-Based Practice to promote quality care. I chose this model because of the quality aspect that plays into it. This model allows us to use an identifying event or problem and find a root cause analysis. It is utilized with a teamwork approach, allowing identification of the problem and discussing ways to make a change to improve processes. The first step to using the Iowa model approach, as discussed in the evidence-based practice in action, the second edition, comprehensive strategies, tools, and tips from University of Iowa Hospitals and Clinics book, is to identify the triggering issue. Identify the what and whether it is a localized problem or if it is potentially greater than that. In Chapter 8 of our textbook, it discusses how to find related literature and then see how those variables compare. Then you would have to dive into whether there is data about the issue or if it is new. Then you would need to review the policies and regulations set forth by your organization, the Board of Nursing, or your accrediting body of governance to make sure that you are in compliance with them. Once you have identified the problem and have done some research, then you would develop a team. Then you would assemble, appraise, and synthesize the body of evidence. If there is sufficient evidence, you would then design and pilot the practice change by finding out patient preferences, resources available, developing a protocol, creating an evaluation plan, collect the baseline data, create an implementation plan, prepare for the changes, and then promote the adoption of the plan. And then you would want to collect and report the data findings. If the change is effective by showing improvements, then you must consider if this is a sustainable change for the organization. And then, of course, you're going to want to develop a protocol to implement the changes. So this model actually is closely related to the types of systems that we used whenever I worked in quality in our quality department. We essentially identified a problem or an event and created a PDSA, which is a Plan, Do, Study, Act form. And it's basically like a continuous improvement project. We would essentially identify a problem or event and then create the PDSA. It was the same concept. It was very similar in and can be used with anything from sentinel events to improving measurable goals within the organization. It's very closely, it's kind of close in nature to the Iowa model, maybe just on a smaller format or a smaller way to use things. Like with the Iowa, you're looking at like which, I mean, you can, with the PDSA, you could do that too. You can actually use it to improve really anything. You could also use it to improve speed, times, accuracy, and charting. Really any type of problem that you would identify with that and you wanted to implement a change, you have to put like measurable goals and then figure out how to do changes and implement those, and then if they're effective or not. And I feel like the Iowa model is very similar in that as well. So I look forward to seeing other people's videos, and I hope everyone has a great next week. Have a good night.